All right, here's my speech. Here's Richard, Jason, Jonathan, Christine, David, Martin, and Seth. Let me pass this off. Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you all for coming today. I want to talk a little bit about solar power and the Sunshine State. Solar power has actually been around. It's nothing new. People have harnessed the sun's energy for centuries. Solar power produces more energy than most people think. Considering Florida's nickname the Sunshine State, everyone should want to get on board with solar power. Does anybody have solar panels on their house? Nobody? Well, this would be great for you. Florida's two biggest utilities, Florida Power and Light Company and Duke Energy Corp, still favor natural gas-driven electricity over solar power. As we continue to rely heavily on fossil fuels such as natural gas, oil, coal, we're continuing to add harmful pollution to our environment. Why wouldn't people choose a safer and more effective form of energy? When people choose to get plugged in with solar power, they will effectively help to decrease the amount of pollution that's being pumped into the atmosphere. By making the switch to solar, people will decrease the environmental impact of strip mining for coal, oil, and decrease natural disasters. Next slide. Mark, can you read that for me?
Yeah. Surface mining is a method used to extract minerals from the earth. This method is commonly used to mine coal in the United States.
So I actually grew up in Maryland, on the Appalachian Mountain Range. That's where this picture was taken. I've witnessed this impact from surface mining. Huge companies, they buy the land, they blow the top off a mountain. This was for mining for coal. It really does mess up the environment, and the land never fully recovers. Next slide, please. So here we can see some solar energy advantages. Some of the main things, it saves you money. Of course, you have an initial investment, could be several $1,000s, but once that investment's recovered, the sun's energy is free, so you're going to continue to gain. Financial incentives are also available from the state and federal government, so it helps pay for it, puts you on a plan, monthly plan. It's environmentally friendly. Solar energy is not affected by the supply and demand for fossil fuels like the rising price of gas. It's clean, renewable, sustainable, no air pollution. It does not contribute to global warming, acid rain, because of smog, burning off chemicals. Next slide, please. So we can start here. Photovoltaic systems. This is typically what you would see on your house. They generate electricity directly from sunlight. It's a process that can be used to power anything from small electronics like a calculator to road signs and even homes or large commercial businesses. Solar heating and cooling down here to the left. This system actually can provide heat generated from the sun to warm up water and then of course cool it back down. It also can turn steam turbines to add more power that can be stored. And then down here at the bottom, we're concentrating solar power. Basically, they use these large mirrors to concentrate the energy to a central point that then heats and cools steam to turn turbines. The energy will then be stored in batteries and sent out dispersed. Next slide, please. Solar energy doesn't work at night without the use of a battery. Some batteries can range from $5,000 to $7,000 and $400 per kilowatt hour. A majority of residential solar energy systems are connected to the electricity grid, so when your panels are producing more electricity than they need, the excess is fed back into the grid. Conversely, when your home needs more electricity than your panels are producing, you draw the power from the grid back to your house. Of course, in the daytime, you have your solar panels up here gathering the energy to your battery, and you're hooked up to the grid. And we go over here to the nighttime. Your battery is pushing the energy back to the house. Whatever excess that you need comes back from the grid. Okay, next slide, please. In most cases, you do receive a credit on your utility bill for the electricity that you send back to the grid. Later, when you're using more electricity than your solar panels have generated, you can use those credits instead of having to pay more on your utility bill. This process is known as net metering. You can see on the chart, I did this for my address at home, and this is just the basic plan. It's saying after 10 years, I know it's a little fuzzy, it may cost initially $2,200 cash flow. After 10 years, it'll start to pay for itself. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. In conclusion, renewable energy such as wind and solar panel carries fewer negative impacts and increasingly competitive prices. Solar power is free. It's a free resource, unlike fossil fuels. There are three main ways to harness solar energy: photovoltaic, solar heating and cooling, and concentrating solar power. Solar energy doesn't work at night without the use of a battery, but with the use of a battery, it will balance out your power bill and eventually save you money. And no greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere when you use your solar panels to create electricity. The sun provides more energy than we'll ever need. Electricity from solar power is a very important source in the move to clean energy production. Solar energy has low maintenance costs and will pay for itself in time. The state of Florida offers many programs and incentives for homeowners to install their panels. I ask that you do the research for yourself and help our environment. Next slide, please. That's it.
Good job.
Thanks, guys. Hope you learned something.
It is. I did. Awesome, dude.
Yeah, do a quick, just a quick
Hand around.
perfect. Show everybody's here.